Yo, what's happening, guys? Specco Gaming coming to you guys again with another tips and tricks video on how to be better at Rogue Company. And I actually showed you guys a few tips, but I wanted to give you a few more things that could actually help you throughout your journey at becoming a better rogue in Rogue Company. If you guys enjoy this video, hit the like and subscribe button. Also set up notifications so that you know when all the videos go live. Also, I stream on Twitch. The link is down in the description below. If you guys want to go over there to the Twitch channel and check that out, you're more than welcome to do so. Thank you all so much for the support. All right, so jumping into the first clip, we have watch out for flankers. You want to always, in every situation, it doesn't matter what game mode you're playing, you want to watch your flank or get somebody else to ensure that they watch the flank and communicate back to you when they die from someone who flanks. It is very, very important in most gaming situations to watch your flank, mainly because these are the people that you can't see. Now, when it comes to Demolition, that is the game mode that I play the most in Rogue Company. I would say that flanking is very important, mainly because, I mean, there's a front line and there's the back that nobody pays attention to. So when it comes to the front line, obviously everybody's engaged, everybody's trying to make sure they get the competitive edge on their opponent, but what they don't understand is the competitive edge is taking place behind them. Always watch out for flankers in situations where, you know, everything seems to be going well on your side up front. And what I mean by that is you got the enemies pinned down, everything seems to be going well, but one thing that you definitely want to take a look at is behind you. That is number one in most situations, because I mean, everything can go wrong. Your whole team can be wiped out by one individual if they're attacking you from behind. And if you don't have really good recovery time, obviously that is definitely a no-go. So watch out for your flank. That is tip number one. Tip number two is going to be ensure that you are prepared when you're going across a zip line. Now, a lot of people out there are going to agree that going across the zip line is just an accident waiting to happen, especially if you're not properly prepared when you're going across. It's just that simple. There's a few places on different maps where a lot of times if you're going across the zip line, it's going to take you directly to an objective, and underneath you, you're going to fall straight to your death. There's no downing, there is no picking somebody up. If you fall in between two places on a zip line, you're going to fall straight to your death. So that's one. Ensure that you are protecting yourself. Also, from people who are shooting you that can hear the zip line when you're coming across. Now, that's the biggest thing for me. I used to have trouble with that. But one thing that I really screwed up on was having my crosshairs in the middle of the screen directly and not where I think the enemy is going to be. It is very important to make sure that you put yourself in a position to be ready to shoot the enemy. That way you can actually apply some pressure while going across the zip line. That way you don't get shot down. That's a big, big, big plus. Me personally, I try to avoid zip lines unless I absolutely have to, which I would recommend you do as well too. But if you have to take a zip line, of course you want to put yourself in a position to be able to defend yourself at all costs. Don't have your crosshairs all over the place. Have them where you think that enemy is going to be. And then as soon as they get there, as soon as you see them, that is when you start shooting. That may help you, it may not, because I feel like some enemies have an advantage over, some enemies feel like they have an advantage over people that go across the zip line, but realistically, they do. That's the truth. They have cover, you don't. So you need to be guns blazing, ready to shoot at the enemy and where you think that enemy is going to pop up at when you're going across the zip line. That is number one. Zip lines, in my personal opinion, if you're just starting out, try to avoid those if you really want to defend yourself. Tip number three is going to be downing your enemies is not a priority. It is a priority in a sense, but when it comes to fighting against multiple enemies, let's say you guys are in a small area and you're shooting one guy and you got a couple headshots and you down him, right? Most people that I see, mainly randoms, not really people that I play with, but I noticed that a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll try to finish the enemy, and all of that is cool and great, but you have someone else that you have to fight against as well too. There's someone else that you need to get down as well. I mean, that person that you down is going to stay down unless it's Shaq or unless he's being revived by Saint's drone. You don't really have to worry about finishing that person, especially when you're in a situation where you have multiple enemies that you're trying to fight in a small area at one given time. So downing people is cool. Finishing them is great. That does eliminate one less person on their team. But if you're in a situation where it's heated, there's a lot of stuff going on, there's multiple enemies that you're fighting against, try to get the enemy that is active and still fighting before you down that other person. It's gonna make your teammates mad, and in general, it's just a bad look. And the advantage that you get is you have an opportunity to get 2 enemies down instead of 1. So that's actually a plus. All right, tip number 4 is gonna be using grenades properly. Now, everyone knows what grenades are used for. They go boom and they do a lot of damage to people. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna either get downed or they're gonna lose a lot of health. But I'd like to think of grenades as a way for people to keep enemies away. If you're in a situation where you are under heavy fire, let's say for instance you're in a 1v2 situation on Demolition where it's just you, there's 2 enemies that you have to face against, there's an alleyway, and they know that you're the last one left. You throw a grenade or a couple grenades, you can actually put them in a position to where they're suppressed. They have to back up from that grenade if they're gonna live. So using grenades and ensuring that you have that wall of protection is actually smart, not just to get kills, but to ensure that the enemy is backing away from you and not rushing you. I think it's really, really good for rushers. I use them a lot in situations where I'm the last person alive. It really serves well in situations where you can actually push the enemy back and get them off you for the round at least, or at least buy you a little bit more time. Tip number 5 is going to be ADS as least as possible. And the reason I say that is because hip firing in this game is extremely easy. I'm telling you, man, like it is like taking candy from a baby. Unless you're sniping or using an assault rifle from long range, or using maybe a semi-automatic rifle or whatever the case may be, that is really the only time that you should be hip firing. Most of the time you're in a range where you can actually get close to the opponent, but in those situations where you're really close to the enemy, you definitely do not want to be in a situation to aim. Aiming up close on this game will actually get you just completely obliterated, because everyone knows about hip fire. If you're aiming down sight up close, you're gonna have a bad day, period. So you can actually use your crosshairs a little bit better up close, and it's really, really easy. So ADS as least as possible, and I think you'll be good to go. And last but not least, we have the great melee. Now, all melee damage isn't the same. It can't be treated the same, but most situations, if someone is getting really, really close to you and you don't have any ammo, it is really, really easy to hit the melee button and just give them a couple jabs to the face, 2 pieces in a biscuit. Just give it to them nice and easy on the jaw and on the side of the face, and I think you'll be good. That way you can save some ammo for another enemy or whatever the case may be. It's a thing that you can do in the game, and they have it there for a reason, but I don't see very many people using it. So meleeing actually has an advantage. I think some of the weapons have a range advantage, like the katana, the sword, over others, but it's all your personal preference on what you want to use in the game. And yeah, just choose wisely, but definitely melee weapons are great. Take advantage. All right, guys, and those are going to be the 6 tips on how to improve at Rogue Company. I really do hope you guys were able to use these tips to your advantage. They do work, but make sure you implement them in every single game that you play, and you will be successful. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe button. Also set up notifications so that you know when all the videos go live. All right, hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a great day. Take care.